Welcome, everybody. Don Giannetti here, and I'm with Mark Lunn. Mark's a photographer up in Maine, a former Project 52 member and part of our Mind group, our mentorship group here. And Mark, you did really well in Project 52, and I'd like to just have you meet the folks and tell them what you thought.
I liked it. The the assignments are straightforward. They're easy to understand. Um, the During the reviews, it's not it's in a very constructive way. So if you have an image that it needs to have some work done, it's a constructive, detailed, like things to actually work on, that you can take with you and redo the assignment and then resubmit it and learn from that. I think definitely the redoing the assignments that you don't get is what helps reinforce the learning process.
This year in Project 52, we'll be uh, having them put in the assignment for the week, plus also the reshoot from the previous week. And we have whenever the assignments are uh, input, we have them put the behind the scenes, how they
Hmm.
shot it.
Yeah.
So when you upload your photograph, you also upload your behind the scenes, and this gives everybody else in the group a way of seeing how you lit it, how you solved that problem. And I think that's a tremendous learning experience.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a wealth of knowledge in the group. Just looking at the assignments that have been done, going through and watching the review videos that you have on the class, even before you do your assignment. If you watch a review video, this is one of the things I like to do. I would watch a review video on the assignment for the week because it's the ones that have been done before. If it's a new assignment, there's not a review video to watch. But I would watch the review video before I did the assignment and I would learn from what people did right and wrong, especially something that I hadn't shot before. And then I would use that information before I even did my assignments. So I kind of had an understanding of, where to start with. Because sometimes if it's something that you've not shot before, you're not going to know where to start if you don't do a little bit of research. So watching those review videos and seeing how people are lighting it, what was a strong thing or a bad thing about the image, and then using that on your image helps get you a more successful first shot.
Absolutely. We're kind of scrolling through your portfolio here.
Hmm.
You're kind of a little bit of a jack of all trades because you're in an area where you kind of need to be
Yeah.
up there in Maine. So um, you have jobs you're doing. You got some tear sheets here. How did you find Project 52 and what did you think of the class overall?
I had actually met Don originally back in 2010 when he was on the book tour, and I wanted to start doing something a lot sooner than I did, but um, before Amazon, everything was so expensive and hard to get. It wasn't an affordable option, so I ended up waiting, and then I I just got to a point where I wasn't happy with the job that I was doing, and I liked doing photography and being creative. So I networked back into it and started doing. I did an 8 week still life class that Dawn was doing, and that kind of got me primed to go into the Project 52. So I had a little bit of experience with some of the lighting aspects before starting Project 52, and that really helped. I like doing this motion stuff. I like um, the cinemagraphs and using one image and then having multiple effects going with it and reusing it.
You have a very marketable portfolio. Um, One of the things I do within the class is to try to help build your portfolio. And I noticed shots in here that were from the class
Hmm.
and um, and other shots that you did on your own, obviously building your portfolio.
Hmm.
Um, so what was overall? Give us an idea of how you found the experience.
Really good. It was really good. The classes are positive. You're going to work with a lot of other photographers that are learning the same stuff. Um, And because you're working with them for a year, then you really get to develop friendships with them. Sometimes you can message them and I'm stuck on this assignment. What are you doing? And or even in the Facebook group, if you're working on an image, you can submit an image and, give some details about what you're struggling with, and they can kind of help get you in the right direction. And then even after the class, it was in 2019 that I started it. So I've finished in 2020 and I've done multiple classes. I'm in the mentorship group now, but even people, from years ago, we still will, talk to each other or be in meetings together or take little classes here and there together. You can always reach out to them for support.
Yeah, it's really, really good to have a group of people that you can trust
Hmm.
around you. One last thing, I'm always mixing the business. We do assignments with briefs, we do assignments with bids.
Hmm.
How did that help you launch your business?
It makes you a lot more confident to know if something has to be done a particular way before you start shooting. You're making a list of the details. One of my clients has to have images that are a certain size and they have to be a square crop, and the number of images and the naming conventions, the size of the image and all that stuff is important, or else you're redoing it and you're not going to get paid until you submit it to him correctly. And, a few times of doing that, you're not going to be working for him at all. So it really starts to teach you to pay attention to the details of, when an image has to be turned in and the long side has to be a certain dimension or the name has to be a certain naming convention like we do, then it starts to um, teach you to pay attention to stuff like that, because when you're doing it for a client, it matters.
It sure does. Thank you so much for coming on here today and spending a
Absolutely.
few minutes with me. I appreciate it. Would you recommend Project 52?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We do in the mentorship group, we do 2 or 3 meetings a week, depending on what's going on. And, even jumping into that, Project 52 is a great way to network and get with people. And I was always jumping in the meetings, and it's a really good place to be. You're going to work with other people that are learning the same stuff, but there's also people that have been doing it for years that are still in the Facebook group and active, and they're there to help, and they will. And definitely a great place to be.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Mark. We'll see you
You're
on the
welcome.
calls, man.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.